Canada's Prime Minister Carney just gave a powerful speech on the eve of the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey. Speaking from a major naval shipyard, Prime Minister Carney announced the procurement of 12 new submarines from Germany, not the United States, as Germany and other countries that Canada is saying we need to make stronger alliances with them. Prime Minister Carney had a powerful message saying history is back. Whether we like it or not, Canada needs to prepare for a current climate where there are authoritarians out there across the world and obviously across the border of Canada. Let me show you this powerful speech by Prime Minister Carney where he says history is back and Canada is not going to sit back. Here, let's play this clip.
In a more dangerous and divided world, Canada must do more to defend ourselves, to secure our sovereignty, to support our allies. And today, we're building on that foundation in a way that makes us stronger, makes us more independent, more prosperous. The assumptions that had shaped decades of Canadian defense and foreign policy have been upended. Put another way, history is back with a vengeance. We face numerous and growing threats, from incursions in our Arctic to attacks in our cyberspace. The nature of warfare is changing rapidly, driven by a proliferation of drones, autonomous systems, hypersonic missiles, to name a few. The world's changed. Canada must change with it. Nowhere is that more evident than on our seas and in our Arctic. Our Arctic is becoming integral to the security of North America and to the security of NATO's western flank. Our frozen seas are increasingly open, bringing new threats and opportunities. Commercial vessels can increasingly transit our waters, shortening the journeys between continents, connecting us to the world's largest markets. Canada's allies are relying on our resources, including critical minerals, to secure their supply chains. More menacingly, authoritarian regimes are increasingly assertive. The burdens within our traditional alliances are shifting. And middle powers such as Canada are seeking greater strategic autonomy through partnerships amongst the like-minded. We must meet both the realities of a changing climate and that new geopolitical landscape. The sovereignty of our country, bounded by 3 oceans and the world's longest coastline, depends on our maritime capabilities. And I want to salute the women and men of Canada's Navy for leading that. We need to give them the right equipment, the right tools, the right capacities to do their jobs. And first, we need to be aware of what's in, what's over, what's under our vast territory. And that's why we're investing in a new fleet of P-8 Poseidon patrol aircraft. That's why we're investing in Arctic over-the-horizon radar. Secondly, we obviously need to be able to defend those waters, which is why we're building 15 River-class destroyers and an entirely new fleet of polar icebreakers and Arctic patrol vessels. And it's why we're here today, to announce an ambitious investment in new best-in-class submarines.
More from Prime Minister Carney talked about how when the Berlin Wall fell, and contrasted that to this kind of current moment on the eve of heading to Ankara, Turkey. Let's play it.
It's no coincidence that 1989, the year that the Berlin Wall collapsed, was the last time our defense spending was above 2%. Well, history's returned. And while a more just, stable, and prosperous world for all may yet come, it won't come without vigilance, resolve, and partnership amongst like-minded allies. So last October, we promised that the new Defense Investment Agency would accelerate timelines, strengthen partnerships, deliver better outcomes for our armed forces and our economy. In January, in Davos, I stated that Canada must work with like-minded middle powers at speed and scale to create mutual reliance, to expand our strategic capabilities, and to build greater strategic autonomy. In February here, we launched our new defense industrial strategy, a bold plan to get our armed forces what they need when they need it, to scale Canadian defense companies and put hundreds of billions of dollars to work in strategic sectors of our economy. Well, we're turning those commitments into action because tyranny is no longer in retreat, because the threats we and our allies face are real and varied, because they must be met head on by a Canada prepared to defend our interests, protect our citizens, build our economy, and secure our future. And because we are Canada strong. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
More from Prime Minister Carney right here, talking about reclaiming full sovereignty through ensuring that Canada has the right weapons, the right Navy, the right submarines to project strength, where now with the Trump regime and with other authoritarian regimes across the world, mid-powers need to unite against them. And it is the law of the jungle right now. It is the law where Donald Trump wants, the lawless, where he wants to take over the Western Hemisphere, and Canada is not going to sit back. Let's play it.
Tonight, Minister of National Defense and I will fly to Ankara for the NATO summit. Canada will arrive in a position to help lead the alliance. Our fiscal framework has already budgeted to achieve 4% of GDP in total defense spending by the end of this decade, ahead of NATO's 2035 timetable. That includes, as I said, provisioning for the costs of these submarines. In the Arctic and on NATO's western flank, Canada is taking a leadership role. These new submarines, combined with the world's second largest fleet of icebreakers, combined with new aircraft, new radar, more missiles and drones, better cyber defenses, new ports and air bases, are allowing Canada to assert our full sovereignty in the Arctic. We're matching these investments with increased presence. Through Operation Nanook at home, Exercise Cold Response in the High North, and Operation Reassurance in Latvia. We're amongst the largest contributors to the coalition of the willing for Ukraine. And through the Defense, Security and Resilience Bank, Canada will help mobilize affordable capital so democratic nations can build their defense industries faster and in the most cost-effective ways.
More from Prime Minister Carney over here, talking about the decision to go with the German submarine company and why they ultimately decided to pick TKMS for this multi-billion-dollar 12-vessel contract, citing the dangerous and divided world. Let's play it.
Today, as part of our commitments to defend Canada and to support our allies, I'm pleased to announce that Canada has selected TKMS as the preferred supplier for Canada's patrol submarine project. It's a huge step, but there's more to come. We will now enter into negotiations to procure up to 12 submarines. And that process is commercially sensitive. And as always, we will not negotiate in public so as to maintain the strongest possible position for Canada. What I can confirm today is that we have already provisioned for the costs of purchasing these submarines in our fiscal framework. It's already in the budget. And I can confirm that this procurement will be the largest in Canadian history, and that by design, and Doug Guzman just alluded to this very lightly, by design, this process will have far and away the greatest economic impact of any defense investment right across Canada. Now, we're preserving our options in the event that negotiations with TKMS are unsuccessful. We don't expect that, but if they are unsuccessful, Canada retains the right to designate Hanwha Ocean, currently the reserve supplier, as the preferred supplier and enter into negotiations with them. And I want to be clear that this was a difficult, close decision between two highly qualified suppliers. Both the TKMS and the Hanwha platforms met the capabilities, the very high capabilities of the Royal Canadian Navy, and both of them put forward strong proposals to maximize the benefits for Canadian workers and businesses. On behalf of the government, on behalf of the Canadian people, I would like to thank both bidders for the extraordinarily thoughtful, comprehensive and cooperative proposals that they and their government submitted. As dynamic, reliable, like-minded democracies, Germany, Norway, and the Republic of Korea are each critical strategic partners to Canada in this new world. Now, in the end, this decision was about choosing the absolute best platform and partnership to meet Canada's combined strategic, security, and economic interests. These are amongst the most advanced submarines ever built. The fuel cell air-independent propulsion system allows for more than 40 days fully submerged in near total silence. Combined with purpose-built combat capabilities, lithium-ion batteries for speed and rapid recharge, and unparalleled endurance under the ice, the TKMS delivers exceptional strength, stealth, and staying power. The TKMS platform is optimized for Arctic waters, and it's fully NATO interoperable, allowing it to communicate seamlessly, to share intelligence, and to carry out joint missions. The submarine is proven and capable. It's widely used by our allies. In fact, TKMS provides submarines to over 1/3 of the NATO alliance and is the leading submarine provider to navies around the world. And the type we're moving to purchase, the type 212 CD. Is that 212 or 212? 212. Okay, let's roll tape. Let's redo. Type 212 CD sub will operate seamlessly alongside our NATO partners, sharing training, maintenance, parts, technology, and even crews throughout their service lives. In addition, TKMS has offered to reallocate boats from the German and Norwegian orders, allowing for early delivery of the first 4 submarines by 2034. TKMS is the best choice for Canadian workers. It will directly create and sustain an ecosystem of well over 100,000 well-paying jobs across Canada. And in its initial phase, this project will put Canadians to work on the direct construction of these submarines. That means welders, pipe fitters, engineers designing the next generation systems, machinists building precision components, researchers advancing the technologies of tomorrow. As the project matures, we'll build the infrastructure to house this fleet, the shipyards, the jetties, the dry docks, and the support facilities that will employ ironworkers, electricians, pipe fitters, heavy equipment operators in communities right across Canada. And we'll build the capacity to maintain and sustain these submarines, creating long-term, stable careers for technicians, engineers, skilled tradespeople who will service this fleet for its long operational life. As a condition of the contract, fully 100% of the value of our investment must be matched with investment here in Canada. And well, as I said, we won't release the final contract price until the commercial negotiations are completed. We can confirm that this means Canada will receive tens of billions of dollars in investment from TKMS, investments that impact every region of the country, investments across key defense and industrial domains, including space, munitions, autonomous technologies, critical minerals, and R&D. So that means in Vancouver and Halifax, our best engineers will build a sustainment capability that will keep this fleet in the sea for decades. It means in Montreal, high-tech innovators who build simulators will train the sailors who serve aboard it. In Calgary, our clean energy companies will help power it. In Manitoba, our aerospace technicians will help build the torpedoes it carries. And students in our schools today, studying engineering, the trades, advanced technology, will graduate into a job market that's richer in opportunity. So these subs will strengthen our defense industrial base. They'll deepen our partnerships with trusted allies, and they'll open new opportunities for Canadian businesses in European supply chains.
There you have it, everybody. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Powerful speech indeed. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Subscribe to Meidas Canada as well.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.